We are now just 3 months and change away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by, of course, George Lucas, J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, Disney, and Lucasfilm. That is all set and ready to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga itself. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one aspect of Episode 9 that a lot of fans are really excited about is, of course, Kylo Ren and Rey and exactly how they're going to interact with each other on the big screen, how they have evolved as characters, and where they're really going and where they're going to end up being at the very end of Episode 9, and how Palpatine is going to fit between all of this. Now, what I like so much about this film so far is, of course, how Kylo Ren is said to be far more powerful than ever before in comparison to how he was in The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of one of the scenes based in the first act of the film, where it's explained that Kylo Ren is sitting inside of his chambers, where he is said to be holding onto Darth Vader's melted helmet, as he is meditating through the ways of the dark side. It's explained that eventually Kylo Ren picks up the pieces of Darth Vader's broken lightsaber that is said to be split into 3 pieces, where the cracked red kyber crystal can be seen in the distance. It's explained that as Kylo holds the saber, he begins to hear the distant screams of Anakin Skywalker when he was burning on Mustafar, along with the breathing of Darth Vader. As all of this happens, it's explained that Kylo Ren drops the pieces of his grandfather's saber and walks to the other side of the room, where he is said to hold a miniature version of Anakin Skywalker's hologram that dates back to the events just before Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin is talking about one of the Dark Temples. It's said that Kylo is in search of the Dark Temples, as they are the key to discovering the Beyond, which is said to be the location of a great evil that most likely refers to Palpatine. The hologram is said to cut out where Kylo Ren places the Vader helmet in a chamber and packs it up and packs up the pieces of Vader's saber. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to have a lot of callbacks and a lot of tones of the originals and the prequels embedded in this movie. And there's a great chance, of course, that Kylo Ren may die or live on in this film. It's very hard to say. There have been a lot of hints out there that Kylo Ren is in fact going to die in this movie. But it's all a matter of whether or not there's going to be a concept of resurrection, like we have been hearing, that will be used on the character of Kylo. I want to go over the way he's meditating throughout the ways of the dark side. Now, he's using the Darth Vader helmet as well as the Darth Vader lightsaber hilt as a way of meditating through the ways of the dark side, because it still holds dark side energy. And as we went over not too long ago, that Palpatine is also connected to these objects that once belonged to Vader, hence how Palpatine is able to train Kylo Ren indirectly. But as all this happens, Kylo Ren begins to hear the distant screams of Anakin Skywalker burning on Mustafar, and of course Darth Vader's mechanical breathing. Now, this sounds like a moment that's going to change Kylo Ren in the first act, right? It sounds like a moment that's really going to evolve the character right there from the get-go in the beginning of this movie. That's going to actually allow the audience to witness exactly what Kylo Ren has been up to for roughly 1 whole year after the events of The Last Jedi, and exactly how he's becoming more powerful. Now, in Episode 9, like I say, we learned about this from the official Black Series toy box that we actually saw not too long ago. It actually does indeed state that he's going to be called Supreme Leader Kylo Ren in this movie. Should be shortened down, in my opinion, to just Supreme Leader Ren, but whatever. But with this scenario, we have a moment in which we have Kylo Ren using the Darth Vader helmet and using, of course, the Darth Vader lightsaber combined as a way to meditate throughout the ways of the dark side. Now, this, of course, was an original idea by J.J. Abrams for The Force Awakens. You guys may recall that originally they had ideas for Darth Vader's lightsaber to make a return, as well as the Death Star 2 and Darth Vader's melted helmet in a different way that would be worn by Kylo Ren. All these different things are said to make their way into Episode 9 in some way, shape, or form. The other piece that I do want to go over is how he actually owns a miniature hologram of Anakin Skywalker that dates back just some months or maybe even a year or two before the events of Revenge of the Sith, talking about one of the Dark Temples. Now, this Dark Temple in particular is said to hold a connection to the Beyond, which holds a great evil. Now, like I say, this most likely is connected to Palpatine, since we do know that he is hiding over in the Beyond and using the power of the Beyond to become very powerful in this movie, and in order to build his new Sith Empire in secret. So this movie does have a lot going for it. It still has that potential to mark itself down as the best film of the sequel trilogy, and maybe, just maybe, even a fan favorite of the Skywalker saga, right up there with Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and Revenge of the Sith. I gotta say, I mean, just as examples there, I think it does have the opportunity to be a fan favorite on that level. It does. So, with that being said, guys, I will say that this movie, you know, I'm very excited to see what it's all gonna look like on the big screen when it's all put together into one piece, in its final form, in its final product, if you will, and what they're really gonna do after. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding on one. From night to moon, we hear them moans again.